You're alone. Every door locked, the curtains drawn, no one for miles, and you know it. And still, some part of you stays braced. The quiet pull to stay covered, to not be seen, as if any second a stranger could walk in. But there's no stranger. The room is empty. So who exactly are you hiding from? You've probably never questioned this because it feels like nothing, like instinct. But think about what that feeling actually is. Shame, the pull to cover up, all of it is built to manage how other people see you. It's a feeling about an audience. And right now, in a locked and empty room, the audience is gone, and the feeling won't switch off. Most people would file it under habit. Just how you were raised, a rule you absorbed as a kid and never shook. But a habit is something you can explain, and this you can't. It doesn't behave like a habit at all. Start with where the feeling comes from. We assume we learn to hide by watching other people do it, the way a child copies an accent. But the body already seems to know. In 2008, in the journal PNAS, psychologist Jessica Tracy at the University of British Columbia and David Matsumoto at San Francisco State University studied judo competitors at the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Some of those athletes had been blind from birth. They'd never once seen another human being slump in defeat, and the moment they lost their match, they made the same shape as everyone else, a shape that came pre-installed, shoulders caving in, the chest going narrow, the whole body folding down to take up less space. They couldn't have copied a gesture they'd never seen. It's the same crouch a beaten animal makes to say, "I'm no threat, please stop." It's older than you are. If the body comes wired to hide, what's it hiding from? So researchers went looking for what the feeling is actually tracking. Daniel Schneitzer, working with Lita Cosmides and John Tooby at the Center for Evolutionary Psychology at UC Santa Barbara, tested shame across 15 small-scale societies on 4 continents, from the Amazon to Mongolia. They published it in PNAS in 2018, and the answer was the group. Society after society, the intensity of shame a person felt about a given act lined up with how much their own community would look down on them for it, consistent across all 15. Shame is standard human equipment, like the capacity for language, installed in everyone, not some custom thing one village happened to invent. And this is the part that should bother you. It fires for the hypothetical. People feel it over things nobody witnessed, even things they know weren't wrong, as long as those things would lower how others see them if anyone ever found out. The system was never built to detect a real watcher in the room. It was built to imagine one. The trigger is almost absurdly cheap. At Newcastle University, Melissa Bateson and Daniel Nettle, with Gilbert Roberts, ran an honesty box in a real staff coffee room, the kind where you drop coins in a tin and pay for your tea on trust. Some weeks, they taped a pair of eyes above the price list. Other weeks, a picture of flowers. They published it in Biology Letters, the Royal Society Journal, in 2006. People paid nearly 3 times as much for their drinks in the weeks the eyes were watching. Nobody was in the room. It was a drawing. A flat picture of eyes was enough to make grown adults behave as if the whole group were standing over them, counting their coins. That's how low the trigger sits. A hint will do it. 2 painted eyes on a sheet of paper. And now the locked room gets harder to explain, not easier. If a cartoon of eyes can summon the whole audience, what happens in a room where you've stripped away every possible watcher? So where is it, this watcher that needs no real eyes to switch on? Brain imaging points to one place. David Amodio at New York University and Chris Frith of University College London, reviewing the evidence in Nature Reviews Neuroscience in 2006, found a single region, the medial prefrontal cortex, doing 2 jobs at once: thinking about yourself and modeling what's going on inside other minds, especially how they're judging you. The same patch of brain that runs your sense of who you are also runs your simulation of being seen, braided together in the same tissue. Which means the private shame you feel completely alone is the same emotion as public shame, just running on an imagined crowd. And the watcher in the locked house is a part of you. You're carrying a working copy of the group inside your own skull, and it watches you with their eyes even when they're gone. This copy of the group does more than sit there and judge. It has a way of reaching back out to the very people you're hiding from, on a channel you can't control. And you already know what it feels like. Corina Dyke and Peter de Jong at the University of Groningen took nearly 200 people and had them play a money game with a partner who cheated them. Then they showed each player a photo of that partner. Half saw a blushing face. Half saw a calm one. The players handed more of their money to the one who was blushing, the same person who had just robbed them. They published it in the journal Emotion in 2011, and they called it Saved by the Blush. Because that's what a blush is. It's a confession your body files without asking you. And the group reads it as honest, precisely because you can't fake it and you can't stop it. Your body has a hardwired line straight out to other people, broadcasting your worst moment on a frequency you don't own, built so deep it overrides your will. All of it built for an audience. And it still goes off when you're completely alone. So name it. Call it the internalized audience, the working copy of the group your brain keeps running at all hours. A spectator that watches with the group's eyes long after every real face is gone. The folding inward, the covering, all of it is your body performing for that crowd of one. And it's literal. You grew the watcher. So come back to that locked room one more time. You pull the curtains. You feel the old pull to cover up. And now you know the system is doing exactly the job it was built to do. For hundreds of thousands of years, survival meant belonging. And being cast out was a slower way to die. Evolution doesn't leave a thing like that to chance. It built a feeling that just assumes someone is always watching. Then it put the watcher inside you, where it could never be switched off. That's why the empty room changes nothing. The audience you're hiding from isn't behind the door, and it isn't outside the window. It's scattered 100,000 years ago, moved into your nervous system, and never left. So when you cover yourself in a room where no one could possibly see, you're not being irrational. You're answering, faithfully, to a tribe that lives only inside you now. Still watching, still keeping you in line. And here's the strangest part. Alone, seen by no one, your body can still push a blush up into your face. A confession. Broadcast to an audience that's scattered 100,000 years ago. You took the whole group in with you.